Welcome in to another episode of Foreigner Loves Filipina.
Hi, welcome into another episode of Foreigner Loves Filipina. I've been to the Philippines 4 times now, and while there are no immediate plans to retire in the Philippines, every trip I do kind of keep my eyes open to areas that I like and areas I don't like, and areas that I think that if I was to decide to retire in the Philippines at some point, because that's definitely what Melanie would like and prefer, where would those places be? And I've been to most of the hot spots for expats. I've been to Manila, been to Cebu, Dumaguete, Angeles. But today I want to talk about a lesser known city that has become my favorite city, that I think as of right now, if I was going to retire in the Philippines, I think it would be Iloilo. So I'm going to share with you what I like about it, some of the advantages I see it has over some of the other areas, and then you can decide if it's a place that you think would work for you if you're considering the Philippines. So first of all, you can see up here is the international airport, and that is one of the real advantages of Iloilo is the airport. It is a relatively small airport. It's certainly much smaller than Manila and Cebu. Obviously has fewer flights, so that's the negative. I would compare it to Clark Airport in the Angeles area, where it's small but big enough that you can get to a bigger selection of cities than you can with some other airports. It does fly internationally to a number of destinations that I'll list on the screen. So if you need to do a quick exit of the country for your visa or something, or you just want to travel internationally, you don't necessarily have to go through Cebu or Manila. It has enough flights internationally and to all the major cities in the Philippines. If you wanted to go almost any of the major islands in the Philippines, you'll be able to get a direct flight from Iloilo. Now, you're not going to be able to get a direct flight to some of the smaller destinations like El Nido. You can't fly directly to the El Nido airport, that is quite small. You can fly to Puerto Princesa airport, which is on the island, but a several hour bus ride up to El Nido. So to me, that's one of the real advantages. It is, as you can see here on the map, is quite far out of the city. I'm not quite sure what the reason is they put it that far out. It's, I want to say, roughly 25 miles out of the city. But this is a really good road all the way out there. It really is one of the main drags, even once you get into the city. And there's no traffic on this road anytime that we are on it. That's one of the real advantages of Iloilo is the light traffic. And we'll discuss that a little bit more as we get further in. This is the main area here where a lot of the new developments are. That if you've ever seen any other videos on Iloilo, they normally focus on this area. Here is the road out to the airport, okay, going up north. And then this is going to go down into the city proper. We'll talk about the older part of the city in a minute. But you can see here Festive Walk. If you've ever seen any other videos on Iloilo, you've certainly seen videos on Festive Walk where they have kind of the balloons and it's a large shopping area. You can see this is Mega World, and right along here where the circle is, this is where those kind of Spanish looking condos are with shops on the bottom level that you've probably seen in a lot of videos. That's all along this road here and this road here. We stayed here in the Richmond Hotel. I would recommend this as a great place if you're going to Iloilo for the first time to kind of investigate. It is very good because you can walk to Festive Walk quite easily, and this whole K-Town area and the whole area that you're probably familiar with and seeing pictures. This is pretty much all new development. It is very well lit. It's very, very clean. It's a great shopping mall, a lot of variety of places to eat and to have coffee, outdoor dining, and all that type of stuff you're going to find in this general area right here. I actually wanted to get us a condo in this area because I kind of wanted to experience these condos. But there was a convention going on when we were there that we actually saw. We saw a lot of the people. It was quite full. You can see the convention center is right here. And so we were staying here at Iloilo. And so when they have a convention a lot of these Airbnbs that are in these condos along the Festive Walk end up being full, and that was the case while we were there. So we did not get to actually stay in one of these, but I'm kind of glad that we stayed at the Richmond. It's got a very nice pool area that kind of overlooks Festive Walk, and it is really a great location to kind of start with. You got more shopping, going down this direction. Now you've got this area here around the SM Mall. There's a lot of development right now, a lot of condos being built. So I think this is going to be become more and more of a walkable area. There are some condos over on this side, and there's a little walking bridge that I thought you could actually see on the map. Here it is. You can see it on the map. There's I think that's identifying the bridge. So there's some condos here. So this would be a very convenient area. But what I wanted to show you is an area that I have actually never seen on any other vlogs or seen any other vloggers talk about. So it was an area that I was completely unaware of until we went on this last trip. We actually stayed in Avita Towers. So there's actually two towers here. Let's see if it shows both of them. Yeah. So there's two towers here, Avita 1 and Avita 2. This front one does have a Bose coffee shop. It's got one small restaurant. It's got a place to do your laundry and all that type of stuff. What we really liked about this whole area, what they call Atria area, is it's a very, very short walk from there up to here. And this whole area right here, this whole section right here, this is all kind of light retail. And I'll put some video in of this. But this is all coffee shops and restaurants. There's a phone service place. There's some, massage places. We got a massage there one day. And this is very, very nice. It's nicely lit at night. It's a great place to hang out. We really enjoyed this whole area. And there's also a hotel right here that we didn't even notice because it's kind of hidden. We were walking from back here where our hotel or our Airbnb was into this shopping area. We didn't even see this because it's kind of hidden. This, I think, would be a great place to stay if you were going for a visit. And if we go again, we may very well stay here. We ended up walking in. It looks like a nice place, reasonably priced. But also, I would recommend staying at the towers we stayed at. It really was quite nice. So this whole area really is nice. There's some more condos over here, some more shopping over here. There's another coffee shop right over here. Right down here, let's see if it's, yeah. So it shows a coffee shop. This is a Starbucks. This is being built. It's not even built yet, or at least it wasn't this summer. I don't think it would be done yet. It looked like they still had a ways to go. So that's even going to be more convenient. So you'd have a Bose right in here. You've got a Starbucks here. And then in here, there are probably 5 coffee shops in this general area. This Madge Cafe is really quite good. We had breakfast there a couple times. What's also nice about this area, there's a little emergency room right here. I mean, literally walking distance. We walk by it every day. But I will say, for single guys, the single Westerners, I told Melanie when we were sitting in here at the Madge Cafe one day, I said, if I was a single guy looking for Filipina, I think I would be sitting somewhere in one of these coffee shops, because there were so many gorgeous Filipinas in this area, and they looked like they're, obviously we're in university, seemed like very well spoken. Now, it's going to depend on what you like. Now, there's not a lot of foreigners in Iloilo. Now, my understanding there are Facebook groups where they do get together, and so you can connect with the community. But just walking around, you're not going to see a lot of Westerners there, which can be a good or a bad thing depending on your personality and how much you want to connect. But it does mean you're going to tend to get a lot of looks from the girls because, obviously the more rare you are. You go to Dumaguete or you go to Cebu, you're not getting any looks. You're just the average foreigner there. So, but this was a very nice area. And actually the way we found that area was, and the other thing that's really nice about it is you will notice, not only are you really close to Festive Walk, not only are you close to Festive Walk in the mall area on the north side, but directly to the south side is this right here is the Iloilo River Esplanade. that you always see about, and I'll put some film on it. And this is the main section here, and then it comes around this side, although this seems like it's used a lot less. This right here really is very nice. It's as nice as people say. It's very clean. It's very well lit at night. We walked it at night, felt perfectly safe. A lot of people walking and jogging. Didn't see a lot of biking. I don't think there was a little bit, but it really is very, very nice. And we actually had come down to try to eat at this restaurant right here because I wanted to find a restaurant. Then I was like, we can take a grab down to the restaurant, we can eat, and then we'll walk out. The problem is there is a gateway here to the Esplanade, but they won't let you do it. You actually got to walk out here and come down here in order to go to it. So we ended up walking up, and we ended up eating up here, and that's when we walked up here and first found the shops at Atria. So it's a great location. You've got the shopping areas to the north, you've got the Esplanade, walking distance to the south. It's a little bit of a long walk, but I don't know how far this is. I don't think it's a full mile. And then what's great is you also have right here is the main medical center right here in Iloilo. And then just south of there is the other very popular tourist area of the Molo Mansion and this whole park here, and then the Santa Ana Parish that I'll put some video on. We actually spent quite a bit of time in this whole general area. It's actually very, very nice. A lot of street foods, a lot of things to see, a lot of beautiful architecture. So this whole area is very nice. And I will say, this right here is the I Am Iloilo landmark. I'll put some video on of us being right there. There were some condos right in this area right here that I looked at staying at because I thought that would be nice. We ended up not doing that, but there are some condos right here. I forget the name of them, but you could probably look them up. Or that gives you an idea of, this whole area here is kind of the more modern, westernized, new development. Very nice, very clean, wide roads, a lot of places to eat, a lot of coffee shops, no trash. It's very, very, very nice. The roads have very little traffic, very easy to take a grab. Now that is one big advantage of Iloilo over a place like Dumaguete. Dumaguete is quite a bit smaller, and so there is no Grab, and Grab is their equivalent of Uber. And when we stayed in the city, we either walked everywhere or took a Grab. And you can take a Grab pretty much anywhere in the city for $3 or $4. So it's cheap and it's convenient and it is very nice. That's one thing I did not like about Dumaguete is you pretty much have to walk everywhere, or you have to have a motorcycle, or you got to use a trike. Now we did go down into what they call Iloilo Proper, or the inner city area down in this area. Now this is much more like kind of the old Philippines. It's the very narrow roads, a lot of old buildings, not a lot of new construction. There's a lot more trash. We actually came down here somewhere, there was an SM Mall right here. We actually walked around this whole general area, and it was midday. It felt perfectly safe, no problems there. There were quite a few beggars, I will say. We got pestered quite a bit by beggars in this area, which you will not see out in the newer developments. So that is something I like about Iloilo, is you kind of have both parts. I like being able to stay in a place that's more modern buildings, more Western amenities, like we're used to, shops and restaurants and coffee shops to go to. But I also really enjoy kind of the older, grittier, grimier part of the Philippines. I really enjoy that, the street food and all the energy of that. So you do have that down in this area, if that's something you're looking for. We didn't go down in this area too much other than when we drove out. And so I'll talk about kind of the larger part of the island a little bit, because we did go rent a car and went for a drive. Out in this area is where the Garen Farms is, that we recently did a video on, that really pretty neat. And this little town of Gumbel, or however you pronounce it, was really kind of a neat little town. We stopped and actually got a coffee there on the way. I want to say it was roughly an hour and 20 minutes out to that area. We also went up to the northern part of the island. We took this road all the way up the coast, and I will say this is a really great drive. We really enjoyed it. The road itself is very nice. There's not a lot of traffic. Just a great drive, this whole drive all the way up here. Now we drove up because we were going to go to Gigantus. We were going to do the island hopping tour out to Gigantus. So we stayed out here in the Carlos area over here somewhere. But we ended up getting rained out, and so we ended up not being able to do that. So we didn't film that at all because it ended up getting rained out. This is Roxas City. Okay, here's the airport. And this is the long stretch of beach they're so famous for. But I would use Roxas City as an example of something. And that is that you can watch this video and you can watch other vloggers' videos of different places. And you do learn a lot. You get a general feel for the cities and the barangays and the type of place that you might want to either vacation to or you might want to consider retiring to. But you really have to put boots on the ground. Roxas City, I was really anxious to go there because I heard so many great things about Roxas City. You know, there's several vloggers, one larger vlogger in particular, that is from Roxas City. And so I had seen so much about how great Roxas City was. And so Melanie and I were quite interested in going. And I will say when we got there, we were like, I want to get the hell out of here. We did not care for Roxas City at all. Now we only spent, 1 night, 2 days there. So we certainly didn't see it all. So I don't mean to bash it if you're from there or that's an area you love, but I can tell you it wasn't for us. We just found it to be very congested, very dirty. Even the malls we went into, we didn't think were very nice. Now the beach is very, very nice. This beach here, this whole stretch, is very, very nice. It's a black sand beach. But we did not find much else to really like about Roxas City, and it was a place that we had really looked forward to. Now Iloilo was a place we really were looking forward to, and we really did like it, and we did feel like the videos we had seen had given us a good representation, other than we just never felt like we could figure out where different things were in the city, like I mentioned before. But we definitely, obviously, once we got there, we found a Atria area which we really liked and got a better feel for how close everything is to one another. So you really have to put boots on the ground if you're going to find a place. So don't go someplace and sign a long-term lease because you think Cebu is where you want to be, or you think Dumaguete is one that you want to be, or Angeles is the place you want to be. This little island right here is Boracay, so you take a ferry out to Boracay. So that is another nice thing about Iloilo is you don't have to take a plane anywhere. You've got, if you want to go island hopping, Gigantus over here, you've got the most premier, popular beach destination in all the Philippines right here. But we ended up not making it to either because of the rain. There was a typhoon coming through, and while we didn't get hit directly by the typhoon, it did bring in a lot of rain for those few days we were up in this area. And it looks like maybe they're having rain right now based on these icons. We did not get to drive down this road, which I really regret. I really wanted to come down here. We ended up coming up this way, going to Roxas, and we ended up coming back down because of all the rain. We knew we didn't want to go to Boracay. But I really wanted to come down this western edge of the island because I'm really a mountain guy. I love the mountains, and so this is the more mountainous side of the island. So I can't report much on that, but it is an area that we really would like to go back and investigate. So as you can see here, I've kind of got it pulled out on the entire Philippines. And you can see the pin here is marked where Iloilo is. And this is the island of Panay. One of the real advantages I like about it is twofold on just the geographical location of Iloilo to a lot of other areas. You've got Dumaguete down here, which is obviously a popular expat place. You have Angeles up here. Baguio, which is another popular place, is up here in the mountains. And obviously you got Manila and you've got Cebu right here. But what I like about this location geographically is you can see it's right in the center of the Philippines. It's in the center of the Visayas or Western Visayas. So that makes it an easy flight to anywhere you're going to go, or an easy ferry over to Bacolod and to Negros. if you want, and then I think it's roughly a 4-hour drive from Bacolod down here to Dumaguete if you wanted to do that. The other thing I like about it geographically is that it is a bit protected from the typhoons. If you know anything about the Philippines incurs more typhoons than I believe any other nation in the world. And they almost all come from the east over here. So by being located where it is, you can see it's got to go through a number of islands before it gets to Iloilo. So you are a bit protected. Doesn't mean there's no risk of a major typhoon. Obviously there is, but it is much more protected than others.